Welcome back to Squelch the Video Game Book Club. I'm Dano.
I'm at arms from the start for real this time.
I'm Storm Rage. And we're here to remind you that introductions are easy, especially after you've been doing a podcast for 7 years. And also, Dragon Age the Veilguard is a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
That is correct. Squelch is 7 years old. Everybody wish Squelch happy birthday. Happy birthday to it. I don't know. It's crazy. 7 years of podcasting. Who'd have thunk it? Not me, that's for sure.
Nope.
It's also Matt's birthday. Happy birthday, Matt. I hope it's a wonderful day.
I went to work. It was fine.
Oh, that's the best kind of birthday. That's the best kind of birthday. Kind of birthday where you're like, well, I guess I age another year, so
Yep.
Time to go to work.
Still got to pay the mortgage. Let's go to work.
Yep, bills need to get paid.
Yep.
This week we are playing through After the Storm. The Cobbled Swan case, Bloodbath, the Cauldron, A Fighting Chance, and Fire and Ice. Yeah, I definitely did all that.
Yeah.
No, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
that sounds right.
No, I did.
That sounds right.
I was like,
also there's a bunch of companion quests in there too.
A ton. I was like, Fire and Ice. Which one was that? I had to think about it for a second, and then I remembered it. And now that quest name makes a whole bunch of sense. Now that I think back on it, actually, they kind of they weren't even subtle about it. I guess I should have put two and two together. We'll talk about that in a second. Next week. Next week, we are playing through the Blood of Arlathan quest chain. Is it a quest chain? Is that right, Storm Rage?
Yeah, so I didn't realize this until I started looking up the wiki, because I started getting curious about like how many quests were left, because I felt like I had done so many. And so the quests themselves are broken up into, for the main quests, there are 3 like acts, and each of those have several quests within them, and then each of those acts have like chapters, for lack of a better term, or parts, I think is what they are classified as. So parts 1 through 7 or parts 1 through 8 are what we finished earlier, up until the last one. This week we start the second act, and then this is part 8 this week, and then we'll do part 9 next week. There are 14 parts in total. I imagine most other weeks we will be able to do a few more, but next week we are also highlighting and finishing the quest line for Hardin, Lucanis, and Nev, and that way we can more specifically identify when we're going to be finishing out those stories, and I'm really excited because I think that there are some excellent quest lines.
I mean, they've been good so far. I can't imagine. I'd be sad if they don't stick the landing, because Hardin's has been a treat. Nev's was surprisingly fun.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucanis's is predictable.
Mm-hmm. I will say Lucanis's is fun. If you expect there to be a big twist, maybe don't expect that.
I mean, you do
I've
get
already
to
got
fight
to the
in
part
a
where
pool.
they raise the dead lady, and she's like, "Yeah, you all knew it was coming, right?"
Yeah.
Just clear. So the 3 quests we are going to do: story quests, Unwanted Guests, Grim Bonds, and Blood of Arlathan. So I know it's Arlathan, but I pronounced it wrong here just because I did. So Blood of Arlathan. Mm-hmm. And then companion quests, like Storm Rage said, because this game is about the power of friendship.
Yep.
And like, I'm not joking.
One thing that I noticed specifically this week, because I know that we as a podcast tend to struggle with pronunciation of words, especially names, is I don't think we are as at fault for how we pronounce some things as maybe we could be. Because here's the thing that I noticed. Elgarnon specifically is spelled as Elgarnon, right? But every single person that says his name almost across the game is an elf that speaks with a lightly British accent, so they all pronounce it Elganon. And so every time Solus says the name, who says it the most, it's Elganon. And so there's like barely a hint, a LaCroix amount of R in Elganon. And so in our defense, if they speak with accents and we do those accents, it feels weird. So we're never wrong when we pronounce things. We're pronouncing them with a Squelch accent.
LaCroix. This soda was bottled next to an orange slice.
Hey, the orange slice was in the factory next door. You don't
I'm
want to
not mad about it. I like LaCroix.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thank.
Hey, a very thank you to our patrons, to our Twitch subs, and to our YouTube listener, Clyde. Your support keeps this podcast sticking. If you want to support the show, head over to twitch.tv/DanoPlay. The O is a 0 because I'm cool. Or patreon.com/Squelch. Thank you all so very, very much for your support. We really, truly appreciate it. You help us keep this podcast sticking for 7 years, and it's absolutely amazing. So thank you very much. And give yourself a pat in the back. All you out there, if you're a supporter, if you're just a listener, if you're new or if you're old, thank you all so very, very much.
This one's a real page turner.
This game's got a lot to enjoy, whether you're a girl, them, or boy. But there's a bit of lore you need to follow along. So we start by singing this song.
Oh, I like that. That was good. That was good. All right. So
Thank you.
Story so far. So where are we? Oh, yes. Parentheses. Storm Rage did rewrite this for this week. ... I'd like to try using this instead of giving recap if possible! ! And parentheses. Did I do that right?
Yeah,
Storm Rage?
that is correct. I did write it because I think at this point people know about the Solus and us trying to get him and all that jazz. So I was like, what if I just removed a lot of all of the information that we've been given? And it was just like, here's last week's recap going into this week's. So made it a little bit shorter.
So if you all think this game is anything other than just fantasy Mass Effect, you're wrong, because this is how fantasy Mass Effect it is. Storm Rage is now leading what we're playing. He's ahead in the game and is writing the show notes. So, like, this is just fantasy Mass Effect because, like, Daniel's all in.
Yeah, look, I went upstairs the other day and I told Stevie, I said, hey, I'm done with side quests. And she looked at me and she's like, you're never done with side quests. You never do side quests. And I was like, I know, I don't know what's happened. But I can't stop.
They're very good side quests.
Yeah.
Like, just legitimately good with, like, fun stories. All right, still the stories so far.
And they're short.
Yeah. So, excuse me. So we have a group of adventurers who have come together to try and take down the evil elven gods, Elganon and Gillinane. Gillinane has continued to show her mastery of the Blight by commanding hordes of darkspawn. Good thing we've got our good friend Solus the trickster god sitting around in our head. Nothing could possibly go odd with that. Last week, we went to the warden castle of Weishaupt. We tried to stand against the thousands of darkspawn that rushed the castle. Unfortunately, Gillinane appeared and commanded her archdemon to take the field. We were able to take it down, and Lucanis was able to draw blood against the mother of monsters, but Gillinane was able to flee, and the remaining darkspawn forced us to retreat. The castle of Weishaupt has fallen. The Grey Wardens are in shambles. Lucanis and Darwin are fighting. An order of 1,000 now stands instead at the dozens, or so it would seem.
I do want to thank you, Dano, for pronouncing Weishaupt correct, because that is how every character pronounces it. It's like they will have a totally normal sentence, and they'll be like, the tragedy of that battle still haunts me, for I do not know if I shall ever go a night without dreaming of the nightmares that happened at Weishaupt. And it's like, oh, wow, okay.
It's funny because it's true.
But sometimes as a voice actor, you just got to get a fun word, and you're like, I've got to pronounce this as crazy as I can.
I do like this story. Just a quick bit about like Weishaupt and the Grey Wardens that survived. The Grey Wardens, like during Dragon Age Origins, were not seen as this like fail order, right? They were like they were betrayed, were destroyed, and then were refused to come and help when they wanted to help because of nationalism. The last two Grey Wardens in the region were able to take care of the business. They didn't exist in Dragon Age 2, and then in Dragon Age Inquisition, they were dumb. They were dumb. The Grey Warden in our party was just a liar.
I do forget about that all the time.
Yeah, he just be pretending, and and then the rest of them were like, "Hey, what if we sacrifice all the non-mages to become demons, and then we can like enthrall ourselves to demons?" It's like, you all are stupid. And now I feel like the Grey Wardens are like, we're getting like that like last stand of kind of like we had in like at like the map table of Inquisition. Like there was a series of like 5 map quests that we could do that was kind of like how to use the remaining wardens to the like best. And I kind of feel like we're now getting to play through that, which is pretty cool. So I just a little aside that I think about the Grey Wardens, because I don't know, I think they're pretty fun in this game so far. So
I knew him as Solus. Smart, thoughtful, loved to hear himself talk. But long ago, he had a different name. The Dreadwolf. Ancient elven god of lies, or heroic rebel against tyranny, depending on which story you believe.
I've got the first 2 quests. The first one is After the Storm. So the team returns to the lighthouse after only being partially successful at Weishaupt. They were able to kill Gilnenane's dragon, but failed to kill Gillenane herself. The siege was a massive failure for the Grey Wardens, with many of them dying and the rest needing to flee. Davrin, upset with the team's failure, lashes out at Lucanis, who failed to make the killing blow. Davrin blames Spite and Lucanis' inability to control Spite for him not being able to do more than injure the wannabe god. Lucanis turns around on Davrin and points out that as a Grey Warden, he is connected to the Blight and therefore probably can't be trusted because the Almost Gods control the Blight. So how can...
Legitimately good point, and I am glad somebody has said it.
I don't think either of them are really wrong. I mean, like, one's an abomination, and that's only ever been bad. And the other one, like, the Grey Wardens have not had great judgment in, let's say, the past 20-odd years. So, yeah, no, fair. Rook tells them to chill out, and that we are all in this together. You can sing it if you want, Storm Rage.
We're all in this together as we stand hand in hand, make our dreams come true.
Thank you very much. Rick wonders if we even can be successful with all this baggage the team is hauling around with him. He puts forth the idea that we need to get our own problems ironed out before we can save the world. Okay, great. Friendship is magic. Time to move forward with Emmerich's plan. It's time to see if the power of friendship can be put to the test. Rook heads out to their quarters and calls up Solus on the FaceTime. To Rook's surprise, Solus congratulates the team and tells them that killing an archdemon is a pretty big deal. Yes, Matt.
Is it FaceTime or is it Fade Time? Because it's
pretty good, Matt. Pretty good.
It's the Fade Time. Yep. Nope. So calls up Solus on the Fade Time, and Solus is like, "Hey, way to go killing that archdemon. That's a pretty ding dang big deal." Solus goes on to suggest that instead of trying to find Elgornon and Gillenane, that we should attack the Antom and the Venatori and make them come to us because they are prideful and therefore won't like just kind of sit and wait around while we look for them. Later, Rook goes to talk to Balara, and Balara is struggling because, as an elf, it is her gods who are trying to destroy the world. She wonders why anyone can ever trust the elves ever again. Rook tries to help Balara understand that what the ancient elves are doing and who the ancient elves are has nothing to do with the modern elves, and they are indeed evil because they enslaved the people who became the modern elves. So, which kind of helped Balara a little bit, but like not a lot bit. She's really struggling with that. Because religion's hard. Religion's hard. It's hard to kind of come to terms with religion, especially when your gods show up and they're like evil monsters. So, like, you know what?
Yeah, also
Fair play.
wild to be like, here's my religion, and then here is historical fact that is definitively true because I am talking to a literal history, and understanding and like merging faith with fact is, boy, I do not envy her.
Nope, not at all. It's actually, I'm playing an elf. Davrin's an elf, and Balara, and so like whenever they go out together, there's like lots of chatting about like our gods type of situation. Really fun. So Davrin and Rook had the same conversation, and Rook was like, "Ain't my gods. Like they're just peoples, and I'm gonna like take care of business. You don't have to go that way." But as we learned last week, that's what I did anyways. So like I'm firmly off that these are worshipped gods to be worshipped. So. Rook now turns their attention to the Draben Kings, Davrin and Lucanis. Davrin is beating himself up because he didn't die when he killed the Archdemon. He asks himself how he can be a real warden if he didn't die at the moment he had spent his entire adult life preparing for. That moment to destroy the Archdemon and to sacrifice his life when he does it. Lucanis, on the other hand, can't believe he missed his chance to kill, and is he even a good assassin or worthy of being a Talon if he missed his one single chance? Yes, Matt.
There's a really funny line option here where it's like, Davrin, I asked you to stab a cloud.
Oh, yeah.
Lucanis?
At one point.
Lucanis, yeah.
Lucanis, I asked you to stab a cloud.
Yeah.
You did okay.
I asked you to stab a cloud. And you almost did it.
You did
Yeah,
get a
you
stab. It wasn't a lethal stab, but it was a stab nonetheless.
Yeah, she's bleeding. If she bleeds, she can die. We're good.
Yeah, it was a good line, and I took that one as well. I was like, I asked you to stab a literal cloud, and you did it. Maybe lay off it a little bit.
Yeah.
So then Davrin receives word from Evka and Antoine that the Gloom Howler is messing around a Grey Warden stronghold called the Cauldron, and we need to go check that out. Lucanis has also received word from home that Zara has returned to Treviso. He tells Rook that he is going to take care of Zara once and for all. Rook tells him that they will join him because he doesn't have to do this alone, and Lucanis is legitimately surprised and kind of thankful. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's kind of our whole shebang. We go out in threes, my dude. And so we kind of, our guys are kind of getting their heads wrapped together. And while we're doing that, we go check up on our friend Nev. And she has big news as well. She tells Rook that Alec, her contact from the Threads crime syndicate, needs to talk to her. I'm sure you all remember Alec and the Threads crime syndicate, right? Good. So off we go to Minrathous. By the way, this is the Cobbled Swan case that we have moved on to here. This is a new quest. Off to Minrathous. It isn't under control of the Notori because I saved Minrathous. If you didn't save Minrathous, you get a different, shorter version of this quest. I get the full version because I made the right choice. Storm Rage.
What?
So we get to the Cobbled Swan and cue a cutscene. A man is sitting at a table having a little dinner while a singer right out of an Indiana Jones movie sings her heart out on stage. A group of men come up to that man enjoying his dinner, knock him out cold, and drag him out back. All the while, the singer keeps singing, and the patrons keep on staring right at their plates. Back to the present, Nev, Rook, and the third companion are checking out the crime scene. We wander around and check out different areas where people could have seen what had happened. Nev determines that the singer would have had the best view of what happened. Sadly for us, it was a different singer than normal. We play a little more detective, asking around town and learning that her name was Sita. She normally sings at the Lamplighter. So off we go to the Lamplighter. We enter the tavern and run into Sita. Is it Sita or Sita? Do we remember either of us? No? Okay.
No.
I'm going to keep on using it interchangeably then and make this very fun. So we
It
end the
don't matter.
in the tavern and run into Sita, or Sita, depending, and our connection Alec. Turns out they are both members of the Threads, and the person who was kidnapped is their leader. This was a big surprise to everyone, especially Nev, who thought she had a good idea who their leader might be, and she was way off. Sita says Damus, the guy who was kidnapped, and apparently who their leader is, told her that he could take care of himself, so if anything happens, she should just let him deal with it. So she did, and didn't stop singing. Sita and Alec tell us that Damus, I'm getting all these names wrong. Damas?
Damas is correct. And
Damas.
I don't think I remember Sita because she's not a part of the quest to a significant degree if you did not save Minrathis.
Oh.
I don't remember her at all, truth be told, Matt.
Just
Yeah.
a lounge
It,
singer.
yeah. It in the Ruin Minrathis version, you literally go to this quest. I think you go to the back of the bar, and like Sita and the Alec are like beaten up on a Venatori dude, and then they tell, oh, by the way, our leader's been kidnapped. Can we work out a deal with the Shadow Dragons to save him?
Oh.
And Nev's like, cool, let's go.
So we're working with the Paladin lady. Not Paladin, the
Minrathis cop,
what are they called? Why am I blanking
The
it?
people that are like, hey, no magic ever.
Yes.
How have we forgotten them?
Templar.
They are such an important
Templar. Yes.
Great
Templar.
job. Great
Yeah,
job.
Templars.
Thank you. Wow, we're good at this podcasting thing. So we're working for the Templar, actually, and working with them, kind of, because Minrathis is still all up and doing great. So Sita, Alec tell us that Damas has been kidnapped by the Venatori, and the Venatori have kidnapped quite a few off the street, and then been using blood magic on them to get information, and then like doing crazy crime stuff with them while they've been blood magicked. Apparently, the Venatori are trying to take over Docktown, which would give them control over the crime and infrastructure of the city of Minrathis. Because, if you control the seedy underbelly of a large, city, then, you kind of can take control of the city that way as well. So that's kind of their plan. We don't like that at all, so we're going to go kill us some cultists, because that's what we do best. Sweet. So off we go. We kill a ton of cultists, and then finally find Damas. And we're too late. He's being controlled by Aelia via blood magic. I'm sure you also all remember Aelia, right? Good. Psych! That was a trick question. You don't know who Aelia is yet because she's brand new. And I just told you about her because we just learned about her. So you're lying to yourself. Yeah.
What a good sight.
Yeah, I know. I tricked all of you. So, Aelia tells us via blood magic that Minrathis must reclaim its former glory and that she is the only person that can do it. Nev scoffs at her and says she stopped her once and she can stop her again. Sadly, we have to fight Damas, who is being puppeted by Aelia until Aelia unleashes a red force beam at us, and then Nev steps in front of it with like a blue force shield, and that stops it, and that apparently spooks Aelia enough that she stops controlling Damas and runs away. Now that he is no longer being controlled by blood magic, he says that he has a deal for us. He has information about the Venatori, who was in charge of the red lyrium artifact smuggling ring that we stopped during the smuggled relic case. If we accept the deal, we become partners with the Threads. If not, we have to figure out how to do this on our own. I would like to know what you two did.
I knew that Docktown in Minrathis writ large was in trouble because I made the correct choice and I saved a city that could not protect itself in any way, shape, or form. And so I said, well, it sure seems like my options are either take the deal or lose the quest. I'll take the deal, and I will manage to deal with it later on.
Same.
I struggled with this one. I wasn't sure what the right call was, because like they seemed like a run-of-the-mill like fantasy crime syndicate where it's like, this is the Thieves Guild, and yeah, they do thievery, but they're still good at heart. And I was like, so do I just take that one? But I was like, let's see what Storm Rage did. So I took a screenshot as Storm Rage what he did, and then did the opposite. wasn't sure what to do. So I'm like, I'll just go the other way. So I said, thank you, but no thank you. And we will figure this out on our own. That's what I decided to do. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because I do think we get slightly different Nev storylines now based on our choices here. So, So I think this will be fun. I'm happy that we chose differently, because I do believe we would all chosen the same again if I didn't ask. Yeah, Matt, what's up?
So after this scene for me, I got the Nev conversation bubble pop up. Or it's either the quest bubble or a conversation bubble. I'm not sure which. I think it was a conversation bubble. And this is where, if you have a hardened Nev, you can reopen the romance towards Nev again. Where he gives you the choice of, you can agree with her and be behind her, and she's surprised that you actually helped her this time. And then now it's now you can continue pursue a relationship with her, or you can be affirmative and not pursue a relationship, or just completely blow her off. So
I am really sad that I did not experience that, and we'll get to it later.
We will talk about it later. I did pursue the relationship. So I was pursuing a relationship with Tosh and Harding. Tosh, I was like, you seem like you are trying to grow up. And I was like, I don't think it's appropriate for me as somebody who seems to be grown up. Because, I do believe, I'm not sure what the in-game age of Tosh is, but it can't be, very old. She's living with her, they were living with her mom. They didn't really have a whole lot of, personal choice.
Yeah.
So
they strike me as just out of house teenager.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think so. Maybe if I were younger, it'd been much more fun to kind of role play that one out. And then Harding has this whole thing going on with being a Titan. So that's a lot. And so I pursue a relationship with
That is a lot.
It just seems like a lot. Nev's just a detective. That's doable. I can handle that. All right, Storm Rage, you want to take care of Bloodbath for us?
Alrighty, next we move on to another quest that would be presented as a companion quest or a main quest, depending on whether or not you saved Treviso or Minrathous. We get word that we have a lead on the Zara case. As a reminder, Zara is the one who killed the Treviso matriarch, or so we are told, at least. Again, we never found a body, but we did hold a funeral, so something happened. First, we need to be on the lookout for a Crow agent. We are told that the Venatori have a hideout nearby. We find out Lieutenant of Zara's, her name is Aquila, has been shifting goods in the bank. It all comes back to money, folks. It's all a money crime. Aquila was holding on to some jewels, and then we get to take. Yay! Money for us. After that, we then move on into the kind of main quest area, which is where people that saved Minrathous will pick this quest up at, and it's time to search for Zara. We hop across some rooftops because it's Treviso. What else are we gonna do? Not use the zip lines? And we find Ilario, that cousin who's super, super sus and is probably the most bad guy of any bad guy we've ever encountered in any Dragon Age game. I bet he's here to help. He's here to help with us when we take down Zara. We tell him, no, go away. You're being real sus right now. He leaves, and we continue along and take out Zara's confidants and loyalists left and right. Bunches of murder, bunches of rooftop jumping. One of them is called Faustus, which I personally loved because I directed the show of Dr. Faustus this last year. So good naming. I just like the name Faustus. I think it's a good name. Then we make our way to Zara. Zara's in, well, there's not really a great way to put it, a massive bath of blood. She's mid-bath.
That's the only way to put it. I would say, okay, she may have been bathing in blood, but let's say this is ancient Roman bath, where it's more of a pool.
Yeah.
This is very much, so it's more of an ancient Roman bath of blood. So a pool of blood, a literal Olympic-sized pool of blood.
And keep in mind, this is also happening in the Chantry building as well in Treviso.
I forgot about that, but that is correct. It does add another fun layer to it. Zara gets out of her bloodbath, hence the name of the quest, Bloodbath, and she's wearing as much as you would wear in a bath. How rude of us. We shouldn't barge in on a lady unannounced. But we've got jobs to do, so we beat her up. Yay! Violence! And at the end of the fight, Zara is now an old woman. She is seemingly aged 50 or so years during this fight by having to use her magic to defend herself. She offers us a bargain. Let her live, and she can reveal about the Venatori. What's more so is she will tell us who the traitor is within the Crows. Spite wants to kill Zara. It's time for revenge. Zara then offers to reveal who sent Lucanis to the underwater prison. Before we can make a decision, Ilario drops in. Ilario, we told you not to be here. That's pretty rude of you. And Ilario immediately kills Zara. Just immediately wipes down. She cries out, Amatu, and then is silenced forever. Spite flies into a rage and tries to kill Ilario for taking away their prey. Ilario immediately pacifies Spite with blood magic and tells us to take Lucanis away from the city because he is a danger to the Crows and a danger to Treviso. Back at the Lighthouse, we talk with Lucanis, who is not happy with his cousin and is worried about Spite growing more and more powerful and the two becoming more and more disjointed.
It was a very fun quest.
That's a very
like
good
it was
quest.
legitimately like a really super duper good quest. And
I thought it's a lot of fun. The moment where you get into Zara's bloodbath and like the look of it is extremely good. The kind of predictability of Ilario coming up, I thought was very fun. Like there's so many elements of this that I think are really, really good. And Dano, I know you've written the conversation that happens after this. I'd like to pick that up next week when we talk about Lucanis's full companion quest.
Deleted.
It's great.
All
It's a
right.
great quest.
I can't wait.
It's fantastic. It's good. All right, so I got the Cauldron next. So we are out in the Hosberg wetlands fighting Darkspawn and Blight and make our way to the Grey Warden redoubt known as the Cauldron. There's Blight everywhere, and it's all keeping us from getting inside. Davern and Rook speculate what's inside there. You know, could be it can't be whiskey because they drank it all. We clear some Blight on both sides of this thing so we can allow this thing to fall so we can jump in. We fight in the armory where there's some old magic weapons. There's some creatures held in cages as well. It's really weird. Go ahead, Dan.
Did you see the plaque that says this magical sword is maybe the most powerful sword in the world, but in order to use it, you have to say this magic chant, and no one speaks this language anymore, and so every person that tried has been turned inside out. And then sitting there is that part of the like cage is broken, so the sword is just lying out in the open. And I was like, "Oh, grab it!" You couldn't grab it. I thought that was
Actually,
really funny. It was really like just a really sweet little bit of like nothing storytelling by the artists. It was just so clever. It's just fun.
I think I had a companion dialogue that was like, "Hey, do you want to give it a shot?" All right. So there's a bunch of pustules we have to find all over the front of this thing, and we knock them all out. It drops this thing that's being suspended, allows us to jump across and then jump into the cauldron. We get in there, there's doors with years on them, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with the years. We quickly just discern that they're the years of blights. As we make our way deeper, we find remains of griffins from the fourth blight, and more blight. We plop one of the blight puzzles in order to get through a door, and we hear the scream from the Gloom Howler. We make our inside, and we find the body of the archdemon Zezakal. We find the true purpose of the Cauldron. It's to store the bodies of the archdemons. Wardens were working here, and I guess that explains all the notes of people losing their minds and everybody just kind of like, this job stinks, let's leave. Like, literally just getting out of there. There's blight pustules in the room as well, and it's fresh, shockingly. We hear the Gloomhowler cry again. She yells, "Rise!" and we're attacked by darkspawn that are spawned from all over the room. We fight them off, we destroy the blight pustules, and we move our way upstairs to the behind the archdemon. Stormrage, your hand was up first.
I want to like highlight how many Griffin remains are in this quest. Like, you go into this room and there's just hundreds of urns of Griffin ashes, and it was quite a shock to just be like, oh, this used to be a significant contingent within the Grey Warden army, and they are all dead. What happened here? It was terrifying.
Yep. Dan?
Yeah, and I think the reason they all left the Cauldron was the horror, what they had to do to the Griffins, which was like they had to they weren't just burying the Griffins, they were killing the Griffins and then burning the remains of the Griffins. So they weren't just so the reason that no one wanted to be there was because they were basically like these thousands and thousands of Griffins. These urns they weren't burnt after being killed by Darkspawn. They were burnt after being killed by Grey Wardens.
Yeah.
Do you go into why they were killed by the Grey Wardens later?
That would be next week's quest, I believe.
Yes.
We learned about it this week.
I didn't think so.
Where
we learn as we'll get in here. We learn what happened, why the Gloomhowler is in here and wants to grab something, grab the thing.
So they looked at some of the bones of the Griffins that weren't burned, and they found that they were blighted. They had pits on them as if they were diseased, and they came to the impression that the Griffins were blighted, and that's why the Wardens were killing them, was because they were blighted. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that part. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So she yells, "Rise!" and Darkspawn spawn all over the room. We fight them off. We destroy the blight in the room as it pops up. Otherwise, we get overrun. We make our way up to the top of the tomb and are eventually cornered inside the rib cage of the archdemon. The Gloomhowler appears and Davrid asks, "What are you?" Gloomhowler responds, "A ward against the darkness." But you are the darkness, so that's weird. Anyway, we ask where the Griffins are, and the Gloomhowler has liberated them. Gloomhowler believes that the Grey Wardens have failed them, which she kind of does have a point about. Like, there's a bunch of dead Griffins around here. Gloomhowler stabs the bone of the archdemon and taints a knife with the archdemon's blood, planning to blight the Griffins to save them from the darkness. Asan attacks the Gloomhowler, and we bust out and fight the entire Darkspawn horde. It's really just a big mess of Darkspawn with a big health bar. It's really cool.
Very clever.
Yeah. We get rid of the health bar, and Asan strikes and grabs a piece of clothing from the Gloomhowler. We disengage and let it go. Davrid says chasing it would be suicide, as we don't understand it yet, and the clothing is a lead that we can use. And that's basically the end of the quest. What a wild quest.
So good. The Darkspawn horde fight, like when the health bar pops up and then every Darkspawn you kill just like depletes the health bar a little bit, and you have to go up, you have to destroy some blight pools, you have to do a bunch of things. I had such a fun time, and great fight.
Really,
I didn't get into this. Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say, really, really fun conversation with the Gloomhowler before the fight begins, where Davrid is like, "What is going on here?" And the Gloomhowler is like, "This is all your fault. You were controlling the Griffins. You were using them. You were basically enslaving these Griffins. They were not free. I freed them. So they couldn't be used." And so it's like, oh, so the Gloomhowler blighted the Griffins so that the Wardens couldn't use them as like their war horses, essentially. And so like like my impression of what's going on, and I think we'll find out as the quest goes on, is that the Gloomhowler has like this twisted sense of like, I am doing the right thing. I am the good guy here. I am freeing the Griffins because as they are, they cannot be freed. They can only be controlled by the Wardens, which is cool. Yeah,
there is a line where where Davrin says you're not or something about you're not the light, you're a monster, and the Gloomhowler says, I'm only a monster by the people that made me. So there's some we'll find out more, hopefully more about that next week.
It is much more interesting what's going on here than Lucanis's quest, which was like the most like, you met Lasarian, you're like, oh, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
This is much more interesting, and it feels almost more modern, where it was like you could almost see like, the person, like a eco-terrorist from the 90s, right? Where it was like, oh, I'm doing this for the trees, very, very cool, very interesting.
Yeah. One thing I didn't get into in the beginning part of this quest, when you first enter the Redoubt, like, and the fact that you have to like search and like explore the entire thing to find all the pustules. And then there's this like just this great puzzle of finding all that stuff, as well as some great wisp puzzles for loot. It was probably one of my favorite areas of this week.
It's really solid.
Because it's a big area, and there's a ton to explore, and there's a ton going on, and there's some good fighting in between the areas. But also, like, the puzzle was really cool, and then it gets you in. That's what gets you into the quest. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it tremendously. So we move on to a fighting chance. We head back to the kitchen in the lighthouse and gather the team, at least to gather the team that wants to be there. Emerus starts things off light by talking about the risk of the path we've chosen, which is sorrow and anger. Davrin talks about all the deaths he's seen as a Grade Warden, especially before Weishaupt. Lucanis empathizes and Bellara agrees. They all agree that the team can do better. Rick notices that Davrin and Lucanis are doing better now. Davrin calls Lucanis a person who kills for money. Lucanis calls Davrin a self-righteous, judgmental jerk. But yeah, we're cool. All that matters is stopping the gods. And honestly, this scene's so good. This scene's really funny. Davrin and Emmerich both agree we need to do more friend quests to make sure we're good and not distracted by things. Emmerich is pleased that there will be more friend quests happening. Suddenly, Harding breaks into the room, looking for Rook. She's heard from Evka. She's found something. And then we go to... Yeah.
What could they possibly have found?
If
you're thinking dragons in a Dragon Age game, you're correct. I think that this is... I'm actually extremely confident that this is the most dragons in a Dragon Age game that were part of mainline questing. Because in Dragon Age Inquisition, almost every dragon is optional or side quest. In Dragon Age Origins, there's one, maybe two, I guess, depending on how you... I guess two. With Flemeth.
You don't have to fight either. They're both optional, though.
Yeah.
The
Sacred Ashes one is optional.
You have to blow the horn to summon it. And Flemeth, you have to steal the book.
Yep. So I guess I'm thinking Archdemon, because now we know Archdemons are also just dragons.
True, so you have to fight the Archdemon. So there were three, two were optional. Yep.
And in this game, a lot more dragons, believe it or not. It makes sense why it's called Dragon Age in my brain.
Even though it's just because this is the Dragon Age. So there was different ages.
Yeah, but like if I call a video game and I call it Basketball Age and they don't play basketball in it, I'm going to be very confused.
I'm on your side. In Dragon Age 2, there is one optional dragon.
Yep.
Yeah, you work around the dragon a lot in Dragon Age 2 because of that mine you have to deal with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
And then Inquisition, all the dragons are side quest. All the dragons are like optional content. Right?
They are
There's like one dragon
optional content though. But yeah, I do think the dragons are like by the end of Dragon's Inquisition, I cooked a dragon at like max level with all the hard things put on impossible mode in like 2 minutes.
That sounds right. That sounds right for you. So we go meet with Evka, who tells us, hey, just a heads up, we found the dragon. That one that you injured at that city that you helped, we've caught him cornered. And we head on out. Darkspawn have been attacking this area every single day, probing for defenses. Definitely being led by an archdemon of some sort, hence the dragon that they have trapped. The Warden's a corner, but whenever they get close, the dragon blasts them away. The dragon is, in fact, in a tower, and there's only one way in. If there's only one way in, there's a dead way in. The only person, but this time, we've got a Dragon Slayer with us, Tosh. Tosh tells us that we need to draw the dragon out before we can fight it. The only person who can fight a dragon in an enclosed space is another dragon, and we are not a dragon. Once we draw it out into the open, though, we've got a shot. The Wardens have reached out to the other factions, but most are unavailable. If you saved Treviso, then the Crows will say that they are on their way, and if not, then you've saved Minrathous, and the Shadow Dragons will be on their way, but they have not confirmed anything specific. We go around talking to a few companions here and there, and some Wardens, grab a few items here or there, because what are the Wardens gonna do with them? Not use them, that's for us. And it seems like the Wardens are looking relatively capable. Dozens of Wardens are ready to fight the dragon the second it leaves their lair. They've got ballistas set up, they've got shields, they've got everything ready for this fight. Tosh blows her dragon horn and taunts the dragon, and it comes bursting through the tower. It makes quick work of the Wardens nearby and flings us down below and targets us in this kind of pit-like area nearby. And it's the same dragon that we fought in earlier in either Treviso or Minrathous. Dragon, fight phase 1. Just one dragon. It's super easy, right, guys? Dano?
It would have been super easy, but someone was thinking, oh, a dragon. I have to bring Tosh along. And then, oh, the Blight. I have to bring Davrin along. Oh, a fight with no healer. Oopsie! I have increased the difficulty as well. So yes, I did this fight with you after using all 3 of my potions, and then in the next one I use all 3 of my potions and a res. That's what it was me running around after each phase looking for the green urns, just dying for potions.
Yep. Funny you should mention a difficulty in this fight, because I had just recently respec to Ice to deal with a different optional dragon that we'll talk about at some point, maybe, who's to say. And believe it or not, the dragon that I fought, the first dragon, was an ice dragon, which means it is resistant to all ice damage, which means I basically had to wait until it was vulnerable to do any damage to it. And it took me so long to be able to kill this dragon.
I'm a fire spec as well, and Davrin does fire damage, and Tosh deals fire damage. So, and my first dragon was the fire dragon. So we were truly just gumming it down.
Great. Matt, how was your first dragon?
Wasn't bad. I'm doing. I don't know. I don't think I did this quest. I don't remember this quest at all. So maybe I haven't done this one yet.
Oh, okay.
You'd remember it if you did, because you fight 2 dragons.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. So yeah.
Believe it or not, fire and ice is just in relation to the dragons. Yeah. Because one of them's fire, the other's ice, believe it or not. After we take down one dragon, the other one appears. The other one comes bursting through. It is not licking its wounds after our last fight, and it destroys a bunch of Wardens. And then Gillinane appears and rips through a dozen Wardens as the Wardens charge at the dragon and charge at Gillinane. Wardens having a rough go, but they're doing their best. Gillinane then makes a Darkspawn horde appear. Well, now the Wardens are going to be extra busy fighting more Darkspawn. Gillinane goes to the dragon that we've wounded and heals it. Now it's time for 2 dragons. After we get through a chunk of the health out of one of them, a ballista shot is fired out of nowhere. And is that The faction that we aided earlier's music.
Bum,
The crows
ba-da-bum.
The crows send Viago and some blighted bolts. The shadow dragons send the viper, who has enchanted ballista bolts with some sort of unknown magic that isn't ice, because otherwise the ice dragon wouldn't be affected by it, even though it looks like ice.
Arcane. It's arcane magic, obviously.
Sure. Yeah, obviously. So we have to take down the dragons again. Dano, what did you think of the double dragon fight?
It was really fun and chaotic, especially when like you're melee and both your party members are melee. Luckily, I was fire and could just like blow through the ice dragon, and so we just like
I did the same thing with the other one.
that one down. I was like, I can take care of business on that one. Did that, ran along. Around looking for at least one more potion. Had Tasha's invulnerable skill, so I was using that whenever the dragon was like landing, and then like just like as soon as like I would like, and then parrying everything I could, and then as it was like vulnerable, hit it with the ballista bolts. And the ballista bolt was how I killed the last one. Like I was on low health, and I was like, ballista bolt, get active, get active, it's active. And I hit it, and then like hit the ballista bolt, and then it was cutscene. I was like, oh, thank goodness. I was like, I was shocked I got through it, to be honest, because like I felt real dumb not bringing a healer. Fight wouldn't have been. It's hard.
Crazy fight, and the fact that the two of them are just it is so much dodging. There is so much dodging until you can burn one of them down. If you are looking for a little bit of help, the ballista bolt will immediately put whatever dragon it shoots into a stagger state. So you can either use that to shoot one of them down and then deal an immense amount of damage because its belly will open up, or you can shoot the one that you're not focusing and it'll essentially be stunned for like 6 or so seconds while it gets out of the stagger state. So then you can just focus on the other dragon during that time.
Nice. When the Viper shows up, or I assume the crows, the Viper says, sorry I'm late, but I would have hated to come to a party without a present. And then introduces I thought that's or without a gift. And I was like, that's really good and clever. And it really was like intro music of like of other faction. It was very fun. It was a super good fight. It was a very fun fight. I was like every phase I was like just like honestly it's like skin of my teeth if I was going to get through or not, which I think is a very fun fight. I think the dragon fights in this game altogether have been all like that, where it's just that perfect amount of difficulty where it doesn't feel impossible, but it feels very, very hard. And it just feels very like when you're done, you're like, yes, I feel really good at something.
There is going to be a dragon fight that I'm curious how hard it will be for you, because it was hard for me and I had a lot of help. And I'm very curious to see where you end up with it.
Of the dragon?
Yes and no. We'll get to it later.
Okay, because I have killed another dragon already, so.
Great.
Okay.
Matt, are you, I see that you are logged on to Dragon Age the Veilguard. Are you looking to see if you completed this quest?
No, that is my active quest. I was sitting at the Alluvian waiting to go into that quest when I stopped playing. So yes, I have not done this quest yet.
Excellent. Well, you now have advice. Don't bring either fire or frost, or bring both, so that way you can take out the other one, which would be helpful.
I would bring.
Good news is my main source of damage is necrotic. So
ooh,
yeah, I would probably bring Tosh along with her dragon armor and dragon weapons.
Yep.
Because you can have her like. When there's like, I think she has dragon armor that when something is taunted, you do a boatload more damage to it. And then when you have detonated something, then you're also doing a ton of damage. Now, in my infinite wisdom, I equipped that with her. But because we were all three warriors, none of us could detonate anything. Did that make the fight even more?
You couldn't even detonate?
No, because
That's so much damage.
Because we all do the exact same kind of damage. So we all overwhelm and then detonate the same type of thing. So I couldn't even detonate anything. So it was just pure.
You did
can
so bad.
Can I stagger a dragon? Can I stagger?
You
is
sure
stagger
can.
something?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
good, 'cause I
staggering
do a
is
lot-
actually a
I-
really important way to deal a bunch of damage.
Good, because that's how I deal most of my damage is through stagger and then doing the right button click.
Good.
Sarah's
Good.
mocking me because I didn't bring anyone along who could
Do anything?
could detonate anything.
Well, after all three of us definitely finish the fight, Elganon appears. He blasts away everyone in order to save Gillenane. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped one paragraph. Yes, Dano?
Can we talk about how panicked I got when she started raising the dragons again as blighted dragons?
Let me go back to the paragraph that I was supposed to read.
Okay.
We successfully take down the dragons. The dragon has one last death gasp, and we take it down. Gillenane goes to remake the dragons yet again. We've got to do something. Rook runs and is able to fire a ballista at Gillenane, and it slings right through, like right into her core, stopping the reanimating process. Gillenane is clearly deeply wounded. We've got a shot, and everyone starts to charge at Gillenane. Yes, Dano.
First of all, this is a super cool cutscene, and like the wardens and the shadow dragons and everyone is off to get her. But like when she started to remake the blooded dragons, I had flashbacks to the last fight we had with her, and I was like, I'm like, there's no more health to get. I'm like, I don't have anyone to heal me. I'm like, and I made it through this fight. I'm so disappointed. I'm like, I need this to not have any more phases. And when it didn't, I was like, oh, thank goodness.
That's a sign of good. That's a good design of good boss design.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at this point, Gillenane is on her back foot. We've got a shot, but unfortunately, Elganon appears. He blasts away everyone and saves Gillenane. And he also casts some sort of time stop style spell where everybody is frozen. He needs more from Gillenane. He needs her to lead the Blight. He says that they will get their revenge and be back soon, but that there is more work to be done in Arlathan. And that work is more important than dealing with the people here. Rook is able to push against the time stop, but just barely, flinching, moving at inches, but still able to resist, and Elganon notices. Gillenane says it is likely due to the Dread Wolf's influence, but the two of them decide it is time to move along, and they vanish through a portal. After the battle, we take stock of everything. We won! It took a lot, but we did kill 2 dragons today. Where do we go next? Well, probably Arlathan in order to help the Veil Jumpers with whatever is happening. The Wardens could also use a little bit of help, but they're pretty vague about what exactly they need help with. We head back to the lighthouse and check in with everyone. We must continue to track down the gods, help our allies, and the next stop is clearly Arlathan. We have one chat with Varric, who still seems to be in pretty bad shape. Man, it takes him forever to heal, sure doesn't it? If only we had magical healing abilities. Not here, not for Varric. Yes,
as a man now in his late 40s, I totally get like things take longer to heal as you get older.
I suppose that's true.
I do love that he's just like lounging in his pajamas.
Yeah.
Like it's just like Varric in his PJs. But like, why not in a nicer room though? Like, why is he in like clearly the bunkhouse on like this uncomfortable cot while everybody else gets this like these fantastic suites? And I'm like,
he's in the infirmary.
Like maybe let the dying dwarf have a nicer room if he's even alive. I have a theory that he's dead already and that he's just a spirit in the fade. That's what I believe.
The fact
that's my belief.
The fact that nobody like responds to him or acknowledges him in any of the meetings when he's in the meeting, like also like gives me that thought too.
Yeah, I think Varric is dead. I think he is dead and a spirit in the fade. I'm calling my shot. I know this because they said embalm. Embalm is a very weird
word. Yeah. Embalm. Yeah, embalmed. Oh, wait, embalmed. Yeah.
Then Varric tells us that even if we are not fighting against the gods directly by helping our friends, we are helping fight the gods. Because our friends are the kind of people that defy those in power, and the gods prey on those people. So the more we could take them down before the gods empower them, the better shape we will be in when we actually take the fight to the gods. And I liked that they give this justification for, there's a main quest, why aren't we just doing that? That's so clearly important. Well, because if we do these other things, it'll weaken the gods in other ways. And I really like that they gave an in-game explanation for these companion quests being so important, outside of just friendship good.
I appreciate as well. I feel like Emmerich's version was flimsy. I think Varric's version of it is much better thought out.
Yes.
Emmerich been like, I just don't think we can be at our best if we have our mind elsewhere. I'm a little sad about home. And it's like, I'm like, oh, that's sweet of you, Emmerich. You're like 1,000,000 years old. Like, grow up.
But Emmerich, I love Emmerich so much. He is great.
Emmerich is wonderful.
He's such a positive. He's just a positive,
disparaging
nice
Emmerich.
dude.
He is indeed. And eternally surprised that people don't like necromancy, which I love about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, giving us a reason to do our friendship quests and our side quests. I do like that because they're a big part of all these games, but it's always like, well, if it's such a rush, why don't we just get to getting?
Speaking of our friends, let's talk and check in with our companions and kind of where they are at. So there are going to be some companions we're going to be focused on a little bit more. So for Davrant, his main story is the side quest, the Gloom Howler and the Griffin. So we don't really need to talk about him more. For Lucanis and Nev, their companion quests were also present in the main quests. So we'll get to them more in detail next week when we wrap up those quest lines. But Balara is a character we haven't talked about for a bit. So as a brief background, Balara is our magical elf girl who works with weird magical artifacts that don't work the way that they should. Her brother died in a magical accident of some sort. The details are, I think, intentionally vague because they didn't want to write it and then have to deal with the consequences of what those logical things meant. And so Balara blames herself. For what reason? We don't exactly know. We head to Arlathan Forest, where Veil Jumpers have gone missing. Let's go find them. The Veil Jumpers believe that there is a magic that is able to be found deeper within one of these temples. So we go exploring. There's a fade tear here, and we confirm that the missing Veil Jumpers came through it. So let's go deeper exploring. We fight a bunch of dragons. Or sorry, not dragons, demons. We fight a bunch of demons everywhere. Man, there's so many demons all over this place. And it looks like some of the Veil Jumpers might have been transformed into demons. That's extra super duper bad. We eventually find 2 of the Veil Jumpers alive and still elves, but trapped. Someone approaches. It's Syrian, Balara's brother, who's supposed to be dead. He tells us that he will deliver us all. Another approaches. Anaris, he identifies himself as, and he seems spooky. He seems bad. Balara identifies him as the Forgotten One. He wants to guide the ascension of the elves. That also seems bad. Syrian seems unaware that the elves were transformed into demons, and that's not what he intended. Anaris claims that what he asked Syrian to do was a simple task, and that Syrian messed it up. But he also doesn't seem surprised that the elves were transformed into demons, so maybe Anaris is lying? Anaris sends some demons after us and disappears along with Syrian. After fighting the demons, we are able to save the Veil Jumpers in question. Balara has a bad time dealing with all of this, but she is determined that she can get through to her brother somehow.
So her brother's also wearing this magical mask, right? Like this, it's literally like an eye mask over his face. And apparently, like there's a dialogue afterwards where the Veil Jumpers are talking about this is like a known piece of equipment that is used to control slaves, I think is what it is.
Historically, yes. They were used to not fully control because it allowed people to still think and act, but it was like a different kind of manipulation where it like made you want to do these things rather than forcing you to do these things, I think was kind of the difference that they played out.
So like the way the Republicans view the pre-Civil War era.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Not all of them.
No, but I got them out.
Some though.
Yeah.
Some still. Anyway. All right, let's talk about Emmerich's quest. So Emmerich's quest revolves around. Remember that hand we found in the weird hand, this dismembered hand we found.
The Hand of Glory.
The Hand of Glory. It was the thing that the Venatori had that we're looking for or had in the crypt that we took off the Venatori that were in the crypt after we murdered all of them. So he does some investigation and he literally finds it quite literally leads to a haunted mansion. Like quite literally a haunted mansion, like from like Disney Haunted Mansion. Go ahead, Dana.
There is a fantastic line here. There's like you have like, you know, your 6 basic choices and you get to choose one of 3, typically the thumbs up choice, the funny choice, and like the determined choice. So it's like the happy choice, the funny choice, and the determined choice. And the funny choice is so you get the Hand of Glory, right? Haha, it's funny. And Emmerich's like, I don't get it. And and Rook's like, what do you mean? Hand of Glory. It's funny, right? And he goes, what? No, I don't understand. You know what? Never mind.
So we get to the crypt, we get to the haunted mansion, and literally it's a great scene of Rook and Emmerich standing next to each other, and in between is this floating dismembered hand. Anyway, then we go towards the mansion. We explore the crypt because there's loot in the crypt. Oh, there's always loot in the crypt. So you go there first. And you go, and then Emmerich comments in here that, a lot of these bodies seem to be missing. That's weird. Anyway, it must be being used for something. So we enter the mansion. There's, after looting them out the crypts, there's 2 locations that necrotic magic is being used, and Emmerich is absolutely appalled. These souls are being tortured for their for these seals that are being generated. So we free those 2 souls, and then there's a path that leads through the gigantic library where there's books everywhere. Go through a door, and it leads us into the Fade. So then we find out. Then this is where we meet Steampunk Grandma, which is
Steampunk Grandma.
Which is so it's literally an older lady with Bride of Frankenstein hair, goggles, and she's missing a hand, by the way.
Her name is also because her name is Hezenkos, isn't it?
Heisen something. It's
crazy name, great name, wonderful character design. Genuine shame that she is a villain and not somebody that we can recruit to our side. I'm assuming because I love her vibe so much.
Rook has a line where they go, so this person is just you, but without morals.
Yeah, it's great. So then
it's just picture Steampunk Grandma, and you'll get it. She's just Steampunk Grandma.
Yeah. So then she's using the souls that she's capturing in the Fade. I'm correct me if I'm wrong. She's using these souls, extracting the souls out of these wisps from the Fade, and putting them in a lantern that she's using for something which she hasn't revealed yet. But if we attack her while she's using, but if we can't attack her directly because she would just blow up the lantern and kill us. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So we fight
and then also like destroy like a good chunk of the Fade, and the Fade would be bleeding out into the real world, and like
it'd be a bad
go
time
off,
for
like,
everybody.
a bomb essentially, and like kill everyone in like the surrounding area. So like we can't really mess with her.
Yeah. So we kill some demons, and eventually, like, we get trapped in the Fade. And Emmerich's like, yeah, that's cool. The Fade will provide, man. It's cool. So then, literally, the Fade provides, and we make our way out of the Fade, and we have a little discussion afterwards about Steampunk Grandma and what she means to Emmerich, and the fact we need to stop her. I know I butchered this recap of this quest. This is the quest you need to, if you you need to watch if you aren't playing the game. It is absolutely a wonderful time. It is a beautiful quest. It is so much fun. It is a bit non sequitur from Dragon Age, but it works for me because it's completely off to the. It's like this whole Emmerich's whole deal is a bit off to the edge of Dragon Age, but I love it.
Yeah, it's really fun because it's all about using. It takes like it uses magic in a way that we don't typically see in Dragon Age. So we have like healers, which are common, and like we kind of get this kind of like fade magician a little bit, but it's never fully like fleshed out as to what it really means. And then we have blood mage. We get a whole bunch of blood magic. It's all over the place. You know, blood magic in the first 3 games. But this is the first time where we get to see like what fade magic is. And so it's really cool seeing Emmerich and Steampunk Grandma kind of talk about fade magic and what fade magic is and how it is used. And like Emmerich does it in a way that is very much like working like with the souls and the spirits and that kind of stuff. And Steampunk Grandma is like, well, what if I just like sacrifice a bunch of people and like force a spirit to like just sit here and like I will like this person is dead and they know they're dead and I can just farm their terror. Like they literally like Emmerich says, oh, she's farming their terror. And so like he frees them from their terror and like Steampunk Grandma is using that terror to charge her lantern essentially. So we're trying to stop it, which is really cool. Like we learn that after we get through all of it, but this the whole like manor we're in is an insane maze. It is incredibly difficult to get around. There are no like fast travel points or anything like that. There are multiple places to get sweet loot. And you have to like, you know, some of it is getting the skeleton key and returning to previous locations. Some of it is like weakening the fade battery souls so that you can get into places that were previously locked. Very, very cool location, very spooky. It's almost like Ravenloft to a certain extent. If you like are old enough to remember Ravenloft, it's a very like Ravenloft adjacent like zone, which is like in very similar to like the Emmerich, the whole vibe of that like faction. Emmerich's faction is very like, what if people were pretty cool with necromancy and they had this whole crypt that they dealt with and they weren't like bad people. They just like to have the dead do things for them. And it's not even the dead really. It's like these fade spirits embodying dead people. And you know, they're not using the thing anymore. So why not have somebody else use the thing?
It's like there's an after
the thing being the body.
Yeah. There's an afterlife after death. And sometimes some people want to still hang out and we give them things to do. It's cool. I love it.
And Emmerich does literally just talk to dead people.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
he'll just be like, he'll conduct them. He has like whenever he's doing his fade magic, he's always conducting. And so he'll do a little conduction and then he'll be like, hey, tell me about this thing. And they'll be like, okay, so like, remember when? It's great. I love it.
He has to he basically has like speak to the dead spell from like D&D. That's what he has.
Yeah. What's it? Corpse whispering. They call it corpse whispering.
Yeah.
He's a corpse whisperer. Yeah, that's what it's called in game, a corpse whisperer.
All right. So moving on to Tosh. Tosh is having themselves a time. They are struggling with their identity. They've come to the conclusion they are non-binary. They like being both a man and a woman, and sometimes neither. They just like being Tosh. That's cool. We find a Qunari tablet. It has ancient Qunari ruins of that her mother, who is basically a Qunari scholar, from what I understand. She's very deep into the whole Qunari scholarship thing. Has been transcribing. We decided to go to dinner with Tosh's mom. Tosh is asked to make the dinner, depending on your suggestions of either embracing Qunari culture or Avani culture. Tosh makes whatever you tell them to embrace. They made Ravani food for us. It was great. At the end of dinner, it's clear that Tosh has not come out to their mom. It's like, basically Rook's like, you need to get this done. You know, you need to do this at some point. least my book says that. At the end of dinner, it's all right. So later we find out there's a dragon that needs hunting. It's a bad dragon, so we go kill it. Turns out the Antim actually started to blight the dragon in order to draw out Tosh. So we killed the Antom. Great. Apparently the Antom have doing this for a while. That, good job, Antom. We fight the dragon. It's a good. Yeah, I remember this fight. It was a good fight.
This fight, Matt actually did.
Tosh reveals that the Antom had kidnapped her and turned to a berserker for murdering everything. Tosh then invites her mother for another dinner. It's time, this time at the lighthouse. Depending on the culture here embraced, they have a different conversation. Tosh's mom reveals that she has never taught how to be a mother and knows that she is not great at being a mom. Tosh then comes back to the table and finally tells her mom that she's non-binary, that they are non-binary. Their mom outlines that being born one gender but living like another is something in the Coon. They argue with the phrase "Shokra to Elbra," which translates to "Through struggle you find what you are." Tasha's mother leaves Rook and expresses support for Tosh.
I haven't done this quest yet, so
it's a really good quest, and it kind of highlights a lot of elements. I'm very curious to see how they're going to stick the landing here, because a lot of it is like the struggle of generations, and so like there is a moment of through struggle you find what you are, and Tosh's mom says that to Tosh, and Tosh interprets it as I'm done struggling. Stop telling me to struggle. I just want to be who you are, or be who I am. And it seems like Tosh's mom wants to say something of like, that's not what I meant, but instead goes, it's not the right time, and she leaves. And additionally, like the vulnerability of Tosh's mom to be like, yeah, I'm a bad mom. I'm doing my best, but I know that it's not good. In Qunari culture, there are people whose job this is, and as a result, they are trained in this. We are trained to avoid and to eliminate any of these feelings or ideas from ourselves unless we are in that job. And so I'm working from nothing, and I'm bad at it. And those kind of ideas, I was like, oh, this is interesting. I am excited to see how they end up wrapping this up.
I love the Qunari and the Qun as a religion. I think it is really, really interesting. And I don't know of any other games that really approach a religion in this manner. Like this very like super hyper strict religion. And I am a little bummed that like the only thing that we're getting it through Tosh's mom and through Tosh, which is interesting. But like the Antom have basically abandoned it. So it's kind of like the way that they handled being a mage in previous games, which is like, this is a big, hard thing. And so we're just going to kind of not deal with it. And I wish we got to deal with the Qunari culture a little bit more, because you do get to deal with it quite an interesting way in Dragon Age 2, when there's that DLC with that famous lady. Anyways, doesn't matter. Where she's
part of the she's part of the Coon as well. Yeah,
who's joined the Qunari.
The Felicia Day DLC.
Felicia Day DLC. Thank you. So we get it a little bit there. We also get it in like friendship quests in Inquisition, and we're getting a little bit here as well. So I'm not like upset about it, but I would like more, because I think it's a fascinating culture, like a super interesting culture. And I regret not telling Tosh to embrace Qunari culture, but that also been like, hey, embrace your mom too. And I was like, I don't think that, so be Ravani. I don't know. It was tough. I didn't want to tell her what to do either way, but I had to, because I was like breaking off the relationship. And so I made a choice. I said Ravani. But I think either way it's interesting. I think the Qunari are very interesting. I think the Qun are really interesting. So yeah. I can't wait to do this quest. So
wrapping up, we get to Scout Harding. Scout Harding has been working on her stone magic since she heard the voice speak to her about finding those closest to the stone. She wants to go find the Titans. Shaper Volta, we've mentioned her a lot this podcast. This is that quest. Shaper Volta was from Dragon Age Inquisition, where we found a Titan. Ozramar has refused aid in order to help find the Titan, so instead, Scout Harding reaches out to the Khal Sharrak instead. They are dwarves, but they look a little different. They're not like the full weird dwarves that we saw in Dragon Age Inquisition. They're just dwarves that haven't been in contact with the others for a while. We go to the Deep Roads. Yes?
They are dwarves that had made the tough choice to survive. And so we get like, we don't know outright, but our little guide, not little, our guide says, like, I brought Davrin along, and he's like, the Grey Wardens, you have your ability, and we had to do what we had to do to survive. So I think it's very something to like embracing Darkspawn to a certain extent, whether it's drinking Darkspawn blood, or if somehow they have embraced like, the blight somehow to survive because they were abandoned by Orzammar. They were locked away and had to survive the Darkspawn horde alone, and they made the tough choice. Which I'm fascinated. Is this a book? Where did we learn this? Because the Khal Sharrak is not mentioned anywhere in any other game. So, like, is there a book I need to go read about this? Like, because they seem incredibly interesting.
I would gladly read a Dragon Age book that had like all this deep lore stuff in it. That would be so good.
There have a bunch of books out there, a ton of books, and a tabletop role-playing game as well. So,
yeah, we were playing a Dragon Age tabletop role-playing game for a little while, like 2 whole sessions.
Well, then, we were invaded by our federal government and things got complicated.
Yeah.
So blame Trump. Sorry, I had to go delivering food to people who couldn't leave their homes.
But what about our games? What about that, Dano?
Sorry. Choices were made.
How
like the Khal Sharrak.
How selfish. Yes. Beautiful transition backwards. So we go down into the Deep Roads. We make it just outside the Dwarven city and met by a dwarf named Stalgard. Stalgard tells us that she is waiting for us. We can explore the city a bit, find some new stuff. There's a bunch of blight all around the city, but they seem to have found pretty effective ways for dealing with them. Many of these dwarves can feel Darkspawn just like the Wardens can. We make our way through the mines until we eventually meet the Oracle. It's a giant dwarven statue that speaks. She is identified as the Oracle. Harding's magic is we've learned that Harding's magic is a piece of original Titan magic, stone shaping. The Oracle tells us that once the Titans were defeated, the dwarves were left as shattered fragments of the Titans. So similarly to like how the elves are kind of they had to take their physical form out of the Fade using the Titans' blood, the dwarves are literally just like fragments of these Titans that had fallen off and created. Before we can ask questions, rumblings are heard. Someone or something is hunting Harding. They attack. We defend the Oracle from a bunch of Darkspawn. We return to the Oracle afterwards, but the Oracle mostly tells us that Harding must look inside for the answer. Harding's furious because that's a nothing answer and she wants real answers. Rook is able to calm Harding down a bit, but she still doesn't feel great. So Harding is doing Titan magic, being hunted by something terrible, and we need to find out what the heck is going on. If you are romancing Harding, then Rook can have a short scene where you touch hands with Harding, but then immediately get overwhelmed by something and have to excuse yourself. After that, Harding will take you to the arena held by the Lords of Fortune so she can practice her magic. This is an opportunity to lock in the romance if you say yes, and if you do, then you kiss Harding, which I did while wearing a full-on bird mask, and I loved that scene.
It's
then you are
good screenshot.
Then you are overwhelmed by this same thing, and Rook describes it as feeling drunk on magic. What a trip! And that's where we leave Harding at for this week.
So during this quest, there is a moment where you're like squeezing through a crevice in the Deep Roads. It's very, very cool Deep Roads.
Mm-hmm.
So this week we had an incredibly cool version of the Fade with Steampunk Grandma and a super cool version of the Deep Roads with Harding. And as we like squeeze through this crevice, you see just like what looks like a dwarf-like figure running across the screen, but they're just bright red. It's just like this like bright red, almost like they're on fire, like it's lava. And then you're like, what was that? And then Harding goes, what was that? Did you see that? What was that? And then after the meeting with Shaper Volta, this all goes down, and then we get the Varric giving us the recap of the quest, and he mentions that, you know, in her frustration from the meeting with Revolta, she forgot the thing that she saw on the deep roads and the thing that may be tracking her. So it's like, oh, are we going to deal with like the Orange Man or whatever it is? I can't wait. It was literally like a half a second of scene. I was like, that is super cool. I was like, wait a minute, what was that? It was a super cool quest. It was another super cool, amazing
I liked
quest.
it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it a lot.
Just another incredible companion quest.
Yeah.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Munch, munch, munch.
What be our first good, Storm Rage?
I think, and I'm going to kind of lampshade this a little bit, but I think that this is the best show how your decisions impact things later on that we have played so far. Because, like, at the end game, who's to say? I have no idea. It might not relate anything to the end game. But there are so many small ways, and it literally is like, because you did this, this thing happened. And at first I was like, that seems a little, like, in your face. But then it kept happening, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. That helps me go, if I were to go back and do a different thing, I would have a different interaction here. One small one that I think impressed all of us is that I know at least Matt and I left the mayor to die. At the very, very beginning of the game, when there's the blighted village, the mayor is responsible for all of it. You can choose to leave him to die, or you can free him. If you leave him to die, he then comes back as a talking dark spawn that is hunting you. And he just appears in Arlathan Forest and is like, you made me what I am. I am going to kill you.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, he's like a Hurlock. It's amazing.
You have to kill him?
Super cool. Yeah, absolutely. And there's just so many moments where there's like, this thing happened, then this is the consequence of that. Big fan.
So the mayor, I run into the mayor twice. So far, I've run into the mayor twice. The first time was when in the Grey Warden, like the village that didn't get taken over, that they're kind of defending at this point, where you go and you like you find the Grey Wardens that were being that were trapped as a side quest. So I go and you find these Grey Wardens that were trapped, and one of them was the mayor. And you're like, oh, hey, mayor. He's like, oh, thanks for the help here. And he's a Grey Warden now in a full Grey Warden uniform. And he's like, yeah, hey, thanks. This is, I don't think I'm the best Grey Warden, but I'm doing what I can. And then when you go to do Ice and Fire, he's there again. And he's like, you've got my support. You've got my sword. Let's go ahead and let's go and do this. And so he's like this Grey Warden along with you that is like fighting the fight and living the life. It's kind of wonderful. And he's like,
that's pretty rad.
He's humble. He's like, you have my sword for what it is. And it's really good. I'm like, it's been a great it's just these little touches. And then I do love it quite a bit because like it not only calls out, because we've had this with other games where it was like, I think it was E33, which was like, you've made this decision now, but you never know, like, well, okay, now what? Maybe it wasn't E33. Maybe it was a different game. I don't remember. Man, it might have been Andromeda. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But in this one, it's like, okay, you've made this decision. So you did this thing now with Emmerich. And then later on, it was like, because you did this thing with Emmerich, now you're getting this. This is the consequence of your actions. And that's the cool part. So you know when you're getting a different story. I love it because, like, at the end of the day, it's a game. And so it was what made, Mass Effect 3 so good with, like, all, like, the little, like, side questing you did, which you got your war points. I loved the war points, the gamification of the side quests, right?
Yep.
And so doing the same thing here, right? Where it's like, okay, you made your choice. And this is okay, a little flag that this is something that you've done. And then, like, later on, it's like, hey, remember when you did this? Well, here's a consequence. And they keep pulling that forward. It's amazingly good. It's too bad this game is so bad.
Yeah,
it's just
I know.
too bad that this game is a total failure.
Yeah,
it's
trash.
So frustrating.
Right?
That
it's awful.
That it's such a terrible game. I've got the not so good, and this one's serious. So during the Gloom Howler quest, there is a moment right before you go in to fight the Gloom Howler where Davrin, I forgot his name. Davrin, thank you. Davrin says to Asan, hey, Asan, stay here. This one's too tough for you. I don't want you to get hurt. And Asan's super sad about that, but so he's kind of like, sad puppy, being told he couldn't go, have some fun. And I was like, okay, well, now is the time. Now is the time. This is the moment to pet Asan. Say, hey, Asan, I know that you're sad. And so I went in for the pet because you could pet Asan all the time at the lighthouse. You can give Asan hugs. You give Asan pets. You play Asan. So I went for the pet, and there was no way to pet Asan. I was like, this would have catapulted this game into levels of greatness not known to BioWare since Mass Effect 2, and they dropped the ball.
See, I think that's the reason that everybody's been criticizing this game is that singular moment.
That's it. It's all the pet lovers out there. It's definitely not bigots. Yeah. It's definitely the pet lovers. 100%. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Good. That'd been awful. Was the other thing? Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Oh, that'd be so terrible. What was our best goods, Matt?
The best good by far, and this is my favorite thing I discovered this week, was sometimes Manfred just likes to hang out on the side of the lighthouse, like on the upstairs part of the lighthouse.
Yeah.
And then you can just interact with him at any time, and you can play rock, paper, scissors with him. And he's just delighted every time.
Over and over.
And he's delighted every time. And it makes my day. Like, I just having a bad day, I'd go up, play rock, paper, scissors with Manfred, and call it a day.
I might have to add some hugs and some rock, paper, scissorses to the streaming background. I might have to cut them in if I find the time this week. Because they are really, really good.
Yeah. There's no interaction. You just go up there and press the button, but and it's completely random, but it makes me happy every time. I love it.
Because he's so happy about it. He loves it.
Yeah, he just does he does his excited hiss. It's great.
He asks each traveler 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number. I will ask myself
3 questions. What are you liking so far, Matt?
This game's funny. This game's really funny. There's some just great dialogue that happens that just makes me laugh or chuckle or snort air out of my nose a lot. Like I said, when Davrin and Lucanis reconcile, I just really enjoyed that scene, especially with it's just like two buddies who just are just, yeah, this guy's a jerk. Well, this guy's a real jerk. And it's perfect. I love it. And then when, and the line I said earlier where it's like, I asked you to stab a cloud. I literally laughed out loud when that line came up, and it just made my day.
In the lighthouse, if there are two people standing next to each other, they'll have little conversations. And Tosh and Harding were having a conversation, and I walked by, and Harding says to Tosh, are you okay? Tosh is like, yeah, I'm fine. He goes, oh, well, you're limping. And Tosh is like, I'm what? Oh, yeah, I bruised my big toe. How'd you notice? Oh, well, I was looking at you. I was looking at your legs, and she goes, were you checking out my legs? And Harding goes, well, you can't blame me from where I stand. You're all legs. And so there's this little fun little flirting interaction going on. And it was so funny because Tosh is giant Kunari, and then Harding this little dwarf. And it was so good. It was so unexpected and so funny.
There's a great amount of flirting between Nev and Lucanis happening. And it's a lot of fun. Stormrage, what are you liking so far?
I had to do combat on a controller because my hands were getting too tired. The angle that my keyboard was at, that I couldn't, the rapidness that I needed to. I was like, I need a break. I need a controller to vary up. And it feels great. It feels really good on a controller, and I wasn't fully expecting it to, and it's a delight.
It's really good on a controller.
Dano, what do you like it so far?
I love playing dress up with both my lighthouse and my Rook. So Rook has a ton of great like outfits, including like some wonderful crow masks that are just too much. I have a gold gilded crow mask that I absolutely love. And then you also can dress up your lighthouse. And so I have a warden theme right now for my lighthouse, and it is super cool. And I'm going to have to pick out some more as well. So like there is some really fun ways to just kind of like personalize things. Yeah, Matt.
Have you found both hidden rooms, by the way?
Yeah, I have. I did find both rooms as well. It took a little bit of looking to get the second one, but I did find them both. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun searching as well. Like the do a very good job with like the chests and everything in this game. Like I think very fun searching. It isn't like, so much of it is like, oh, well, the right way to go is left, so I'll find the treasure to the right. It is much more interesting, I would say, for like 75% of the treasure you find in this game. You actually, there's a little bit of thought and like backtracking and see, oh, I see the treasure chest up there. How do I get to that chest or that kind of stuff? So, what are you struggling with, Matt?
There's so many side quests I've been avoiding because there are so many companion quests that I need to get done, and I just got to get the companion quest done first. It's very much like companion quests, maybe main story quest, and then like the side quests that don't have like companion stuff. I'm just not doing because I've been busy. And I want to play them more. So I want to be like Storm Rage. I want to have a summer off and just get, all this done. Storm Rage.
If it helps, I'm also working over the summer, so like I don't have any days off actually.
Storm Rage.
Well, what happened for Storm Rage, the reason Storm Rage can play so much is, Hearthstone just lost a truly great leader.
They did.
And so
I know.
So Hearthstone's just not as much fun to play right now because I imagine with that leadership, that vacuum, I'm sure, is felt by all right now.
Yeah, all those gambling mechanics are just laying fallow now.
I'm sure they won't let those lay fallow for long.
with a vacuum of that size, boy, you could almost fit a needle in there. Like there's just so much. Who's to say what happens next?
What are you struggling with, Storm Rage?
My stupid mod didn't work. I wanted to be the lighthouse polycule, and it didn't work. I locked in a romance, and I'm happy with the romance choice. I'm romancing Scout Harding, and it's very cute and adorable, and I do like it. But I want everybody's romance, and I can't get it. Dano, what are you struggling with?
Well, first of all, I'm struggling with us having like 5 names to this podcast episode. I think I'm just gonna take it over and just make a decision. Because I added 2 more up there. I'm struggling with difficulty. So, I noticed that I stopped losing health during fights. Like, I just didn't lose health anymore. It was like, wait a minute. I used to lose health during fights, and I don't lose health anymore during fights. So I ramped the difficulty up, and it wasn't a big jump. So I don't know if I did it wrong, or if there's another difficulty level that I need to mess with. But
what did you change it to? Because the difficulty in this game is pretty customizable. It's pretty cool.
That might be why I changed it to I forget what it's called, but it was kind of a funny little word. So I'll have to go back. So basically the aim is no longer like automatic, and then I'll have to go back and check it up. So I just changed like the base difficulty to the next level up there, which is the max level. It seems like there isn't one higher than that from what I could see.
So we start at like right in the middle. There is, I think, 3 higher than Adventurer, and I'm at the one just above Adventurer. But I think that there are maybe 3, or maybe the third one is like customize whatever you want. But there are 3 blips above the Adventurer. That much I know for sure.
I changed mine to Underdog. So I was at Adventurer,
That's where I'm at as well.
And I went to Underdog. And then there's one more above it, Nightmare. Selecting Nightmare cannot be undone without starting a new playthrough. I don't know if you can also make it Nightmare during a playthrough or not.
I would imagine so.
So I changed it to Underdog, and so I'm looking at a wiki of it right now. So during adventurer, incoming damage, enemy aggression, tactical challenge, and defend timing is all 3 out of 5. Oh, the defend timing has gotten more difficult. So in underdog, incoming damage, enemy aggression, and tactical challenge are all 4 out of 5s, and defend timing is 5 out of 5. So
that makes sense because I haven't been able to defend worth gosh darn right now. I keep getting hit by things left and right.
Yeah, so I changed to underdog, and there were some fights I definitely noticed it after the fact, like especially in the Emmerich side quest, like those demons, like they kept on, like they were brutally tough.
Yeah, they hit.
And so I think it's a good difficulty. I don't want to go to Nightmare, but at first I didn't really quite notice it, but then I have been noticing it since then. So not really struggling with so much as I did a thing. I changed the difficulty level because I like to do that. Matt, what surprised you about the game?
How much I love all the companions. I really love all the companions. I can't really decide who I want to like focus the romance on. I think it might be Davrin. I'm like kind of like I had a thing with Harding for a minute, and then I went with Nev, and now I'm with like Davrin. But really, I'm dating Davrin because of his dog. So it's like it's great. I love it. It's like there's so many. Like all the characters are great. I love them. What surprised you about the game, Storm Rage?
There have been a couple fights where I've had to swap abilities based on damage vulnerabilities, and at first I was like, I don't know if I like having to do that, and I suppose that I don't have to, right? There was a fight where I went up against an undead dragon that was resistant to ice, and it was to the point that my ice damage was dealing like 19 damage to it, and I was like, this just isn't. I can't do this. So I swapped over to necrotic, and then I was doing like 500 damage. And I was like, initially I thought, I don't love this. I don't love having to swap. And then I realized that it was more of like, how can I puzzle this? And so it felt like at higher difficulties, because at normal difficulties, truth be told, I didn't really notice it. But at higher difficulties, I do notice the damage resistance a lot more. And now it feels like, oh, I've got to change my play style based on this. And because there's no consequence to shifting specializations, now it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to swap up to lightning and close-handed for this fight. Or in this fight, I want to go back to frost and range or mid-range and necrotic, and the fact that I can swap up so much on the fly in the middle of missions, I actually ended up coming back around to, and I was like, actually, I kind of dig this. I'm a fan. I like that I have this, and I kind of am encouraged to swap things up on a very regular basis.
That's super fun. That's really fun.
Dano, what surprised you?
The puzzles in this game are a ton of fun. I think they might be the best puzzles we've played so far. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think because there are multiple different, there's like your wisp puzzles, there's your blight puzzles, there's your just like actual puzzles, which is like, trying to like set up statues in a certain way, like whether sometimes you have the statues, you have to find a smaller version of those statues and set it up that way, or you have to light up different lanterns and that will open up a way to get to a chest, or just like, having like, how do you get to this kind of strange location to get to this chest? You can see this chest up high there, but how do you get to it? There's one in the Arlathan forest where you had to set up different like laser beams and you had to find them, get them all set up. Like they were all really fun, really engaging. And like there was value at the end. Like there was like things to find that's like, oh, I'm glad I found that. Like that's a weapon upgrade for one of my companions, or that's a new interesting legendary item that I can use for a while. Or it's just a cool little bit of like the jar of bees where it was like, it's a potion and bees. I was like, I love that so much. And I used that for a very long time. Yeah, Matt.
So one of my favorite little things that like pops up in like the open world areas or like the zones is like the statues that shoot out like 5 targets all over the map that you have to find.
Yeah, the health bonuses.
The health bonus targets. I don't know why. Yeah. I would get I don't get sick of those. I just enjoy them. I just like finding them and like because like it literally shows you where they are because there's a line coming from the statue that leads to the thing. It's great. I love it. It's perfect, and it's just a little bit of health bonus, and it's perfect.
Same with the wolf, right? Where it's like you discover the wolf, and then it points a direction, and then you follow it, and then you find the wolf statue. I'm like, that's a nice little fun way to find a skill point. I approve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it is the perfect level of difficulty for a game of this nature because there's no puzzles that I spend like an hour on trying to figure out. So I think if you are somebody that is like really into complex puzzles, you'll find these pretty lacking because I don't think that they're like complex.
No.
I think anybody could figure them out. But they are the perfect level of difficulty where I go, ooh, where's this at? Oh, there it is. And then I am able to get it done in like 5 minutes or less, but I still feel a sense of accomplishment.
They're AA, AAA role-playing game puzzles, right? This isn't a puzzle game. This isn't like, I don't want to spend an hour trying to figure out your puzzle. I want to figure it out on the fly while I'm doing other things. And they nailed that, right? Like they're fun, they're interesting, they're not difficult, which, you know, if I'm playing a puzzle game, cool. Give me a difficult puzzle. That's the point of the game. But the point of this game isn't puzzles. So like, I want a puzzle to be interesting. I want to find it engaging and fun. I don't need it to be hard though. So I think it's perfect.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Storm Raid, sell the game to a friend.
This game is the best experience versus expectations that we have played so far on 100%. Squelch.
Big video games ever, I think. Like expectations versus like, yeah, no, 100%.
Like, yeah.
Matt, sell the game to a friend.
EA just dropped the ball. Like, really dropped the ball completely.
And for me, why do we need to keep selling this game to you? Go play it already. It's just a good game. That's it for this week. Next week, we veil the guards in Dragon Age the Veilguard. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons. Thanks to all our Twitch subs. And thanks to our YouTube listener, Clyde. You can find a link to our Discord and other stuff in the, description of this episode.
And Dragon Age the Veilguard's game, and games are meant to be fun.
Yeah, and don't forget, elven gods can only be defeated by the power of friendship, baby.
This is the end of the show. Everybody bye!
Just think how much friendship you would have had if the Polycule mod worked.
Oh, man, I'm sorry for you. Rest in peace, Lighthouse Polycule.
I dreamed too close to the sun, and sometimes that happens.
This is a 2-hour episode.
How'd
that
I
happen?
noticed that as well. Yeah.
Well, we kept talking about things that we were going to talk about later on, like Harding and the whole talking about her post, like the Lords of Fortune quest. And then we talked about it again, and then we got excited about things that we were talking about, and then we went into more detail on things, and then we just went off rails, squelch stuff.
I think that means it's a good game. I think that's what it means. I want to talk about all this stuff. I honestly don't know what to do with this game as far as rankings are concerned. I can't wait to see where it ends up, to be completely honest. Like, I don't think I like it more than Inquisition, but I mean, maybe I do.
Do I like this more than Dragon Age 2? Maybe.
I think this game is a sequel to Dragon Age 2, more than it's a sequel to Dragon Age Inquisition, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because of the way that the world is laid out, which is classic Dragon Age, right? Which is, change everything up every single game and then frustrate 33% of your fan base, which, might be the ultimate sin of this game, is they never had they never kept,
yeah.
like they never stayed on the rails of what they wanted to be, right? Like the story always existed, but like the gameplay always changed, I guess.
Well, it's like the fact we don't go down to Kirkwall, we don't go down to Orlais, we don't deal with anything to the south because the Inquisitor's dealing with all that. That's his job. That's their job. So
yeah, well, I got a letter from my Inquisitor who says she's taking care of it, so I believe her.
Yep.
I'll take care of the gods. She can take care of everything else.
Yep.
Thanks, Inquisitor.
Yeah, good job, Inquisitor.
All right, I think that's it for this week. We'll talk at you all again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.